I'm currently in the middle of packing up and moving to a new part of Bangkok. For just over 2 years, I've lived in the southeast of the city, in an area called Punnawithi. This is the place where I first settled in Thailand, and where I started to build my new life. Now that I'm about to leave, I can't help but reflect on my time here, and I wanted to capture some memories of the place before I go. The reason I chose to live in this area was that my partner, whom I live with, worked nearby. However, she's recently been offered a new job in another part of the city, and so we're moving elsewhere. The removal men are now in to pack everything up for us. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the change, but there are 2 places in this area that I will definitely miss. The first place I will miss is True Digital Park. Many people might think of this place as a department store, but it's also home to offices for hundreds of companies, and my partner used to work for one of them. Because of the roof design, the lighting in this area is great, a mixture of strong sunlight and dark shadows. Whenever I am waiting around here for my partner to finish work, I usually spend my time taking high contrast shots of people walking through these lit up areas. Thanks to the abundance of harsh sunlight in Bangkok, this city is a great spot for high contrast street photography. But my favorite place in True Digital Park is a small glass building designed to be a place of relaxation. I'm not sure how many people know that this building is here, since from a distance, it blends right into the structure behind. But I like coming here to appreciate the architecture and enjoy the peaceful atmosphere. I also like the staircase leading up to the building, and often tried to take photos here. Unfortunately, I've never taken a great shot, though I do quite like this one, with the man's posture matching the angles of the staircase. I've always hoped to see a woman walking down the stairs in a yellow dress, but it seems not many people use this space. For now, I'll just have to make do with this still life. Another reason I used to come here frequently was to use the running track. On the 4th floor there is a track that anyone can use, and I like watching the runners run across the bridges between the east and west buildings. If you live nearby and enjoy running, but haven't visited this track yet, I'd highly recommend checking it out. The track is free to use, and there are lockers and showers available too. You can access the track via elevator or stairs, and I prefer the stairs since at the top there's a great view overlooking the area. Over the past few years I've come here hundreds of times, and I've really come to like this place. I've seen the site grow from being virtually empty to becoming a much more vibrant space, filled with many interesting decorations both inside and out. The track used to be much busier in the past, I recall, but then they installed this complicated turnstile and online registration system, and since then it's become much quieter. One thing I've noticed since moving to Thailand is that Thai people really love running, and wherever you are in Bangkok, you're never far away from a running track. When I first moved here, I didn't run regularly, and I found it quite exhausting to be up here in the heat. But over the last 2 years, I've lost nearly 30 kilograms, and now run quite often. Another perk of this running track is the view that it offers of the surrounding area. From here you can see nearby landmarks like the construction of the Cloud 11 building, and also the top of the iconic Wat Dhammamongkol. This temple is the other landmark that I'm really going to miss. Since the temple towers over the neighborhood and is visible from almost anywhere, it's a building I've stared at daily for over 2 years. The temple is a place I visit regularly. From my condo, I usually walk there along the main road, but if you're coming via True Digital Park, a more scenic route is to walk along the klongs or the canals. One thing I don't like much about Punnawithi is the lack of places to visit or explore. There's a main road, a few government buildings on one side of it, and residential buildings on the other, and so the Klongs are about the only place to go to for a nice stroll. Not everyone would enjoy walking around here, of course, especially as the water's not that clean, but I find the walk to be quite pleasant. To reach the temple, you have to walk down a small side street, and the way to the temple is well signposted. Wat Dhammamongkol is home to the world's largest jade Buddha, and it's amazing to have such a notable site so close to my home. At the moment, the temple looks a bit like a construction site, but it's still worth a visit if you're in the area. The statue of the Buddha was made from a massive 32-ton jade block, which was discovered in a gold mine in Vancouver. The jade block was then transported to Thailand in February of 1992, and it was sculpted into a 2.2 meter tall image of the Buddha by 2 Italian sculptors. Before leaving this neighborhood, I wanted to come here one last time to capture a few shots of the building. It's tough to fit such a large structure into one composition, so I only managed to snap a few shots of parts of the building, such as this image, which I quite like. To get a clearer shot of the temple, I tried walking to a nearby construction site, which offers a better vantage point. To get to the site, I had to walk back along the Klongs. It's quite fascinating to me to see the structures and outhouses which have been built along the canals and how they have been decorated. Walking across the beams is fun too, so long as you have a good sense of balance. Lots of monks live in dormitories in this area, and I often spot them wandering around here. While these scenes wouldn't seem out of the ordinary to locals, I remember finding it quite amusing the first time I saw a monk's laundry hanging out to dry. Another thing that amuses me is this locked door to a non-existent building. I think the best place to get a good view of Wat Dhammamongkol is from this construction site, and this is a place that I've come to often on my walks. Maybe it says something about Punnawithi that my favourite place to visit here is a construction site, or maybe it says something about me. From here you can't see the full temple, but since it's only the top part of the building that I've spent the last 2 years admiring, it's really just this part that I wanted to capture. So I tried framing the building between some leaves, but many of the shots turned out a bit messy with all of the mud in the foreground. However, I'm pretty happy with this final shot. The scene is a lot less cluttered, and so all of the attention is on the temple. It's not a great photo, I admit, but it's a nice one for me to keep as a reminder of a place which I visited so often and which I now say goodbye to.